political segment on the weekend show. My name is Andy Madaki.
And I'm Didi.
I was just having a conversation with Didi, and we do have a lot of these conversations about the economy and Nigeria. The naira to dollar has appreciated, and I see some people saying, "Oh, better sell your dollars and all whatnot." Do you think? And okay, so before I even ask you a question, when I see such changes, I need to know that there's some economic policy which has led to the change.
Yeah.
It almost seems as if they're recovering money looted from the last government and fixing whatever. I don't know what is leading to this result, but is it commendable? Yes. But my question is, do you think this is a long-term solution or it's a short-term solution and we may go back to where we were in January, February?
It's a short-term solution as far as I'm concerned, and I believe we'll definitely go back to where we were in January. From the quote-unquote track record of this government, it's been 9, 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've not seen anything that would make us think
That
that
can
this
tie
is, yes,
it to that
yeah, and say, okay, it's a
policy.
long-term
On the bright side, some people and some economists have said that the naira would rally and it would settle at about 1,200 naira to a dollar. However, I saw a tweet yesterday where they said this government met the naira to dollar at 700,
Yeah.
took it to 19, and now it's 14. They expect us to be happy.
No. When you were saying your intro and you mentioned naira appreciating, I was like, really, 1,448 to be
10 months.
specific. That's double what it was.
We need to find something to be happy about in Nigeria. And also, one of the news headlines which we saw in the last week was the fact that the CBN says they've cleared about 7 billion of their foreign debts. But some airline union came out to say
Yeah.
that there was a bit of a discrepancy because when they sold those tickets, it was at about 400
Yeah.
plus to a dollar.
And
now it's higher, which means if they sold the ticket where they would have gotten $2,000, now you're giving them 666.
Exactly.
And so there's that back and forth. But we do have a guest who will be having some conversations with about the economy and the current administration and his thoughts. And so joining us, we have
Honorable Simon Oshi, who's a former SA and former House of Representative aspirant. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
So you've had our initial conversation. Do you have something to add, or what's your general overview of this administration in the last 10 months since they've been in power?
Actually, earlier said we can't give them 100% and we can't give them a 50% for now. Let's keep watching what the president is trying to achieve and what the new governors are trying to achieve. Because I feel like opening the border is a good step. Because you can't go to Benin Republic just here and expect me to buy dollars just to get foodstuff or maybe get dresses to bring back to Nigeria and then convert to dollars again. It doesn't make any sense. So I feel like with the borders being open, very soon the naira will come down. And we should actually focus on naira and not. We are Africans. We can't be leaving the white man pushing his own currency for him without pushing ours. Let's focus on our naira. Let's actually focus on our naira. Africa needs to come together. If we're united in a particular way, where I can actually use my naira and go to Ghana and get something from Ghana without buying dollars.
I know Didi wants to say something, but I need to interject because, so I come from Benue State.
Okay.
And every other week, I'd say 16, 17 people are killed, which means that agriculture is slowing down. For us to focus on the naira, we need to be producing something which we can sell, which we can export.
Yeah.
Remember 2 months ago, there was a state of emergency on food because there were concerns that people were moving foodstuff to Niger and other countries.
Yeah.
But if our farmers can't go to the farm because they are being killed as a result of insecurity, we can't produce anything to sell, which will strengthen the naira. So how do we focus on the naira when we're still a consumption-based economy as opposed to a production-based?
Okay, thanks for that question. Without peace, you can't get development.
Yes.
It can never happen. When your home is at peace, and then you can go out and actually source out for something for your family. So I believe Mr. President and the Senate should actually work on a state police, state security. Don't leave everything for the federal government, for the IG. Let's work on the state police. With state police, all the insecurity will stop in less than 1 year.
I hear 16 states have submitted their acceptance that they want to have state policing, and so I'm looking forward to how far that goes. But please.
I just want to know, from the discussion, what's your overview of the current economic situation here in the country?
Like I said, this was meant to happen because after the whole Naira, cutting off the Naira and bringing it back, it was actually meant to happen. So I'm not going to blame Mr. President. I'm not APC, but I wouldn't blame Mr. President for what he's actually facing. Nowhere is actually a safe land. He just came into power, like you earlier said. Let's give him more time. I believe he's getting somewhere. So let's give him, with the subsidy and all, I don't believe we're going to suffer forever. But without you suffering, you can't enjoy. Without you farming, you have to work to actually gain something out of what it is you're doing. So I believe he is actually trying his best to work. So let's give him time.
So a quick segue. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made some right steps when it comes to some of the people who he has appointed in power. There are some really good people, and there are some people who I feel should be removed if they're not doing their work. But in recent times, I have seen people from your region, the Southeast, where they ask for inclusion. I've seen 2 people nominated to be on the board of the CBN, and they've rejected the nomination, or one was withdrawn, but basically they say they've rejected it. But in the same vein, we've had in previous administrations and even currently secessionist movements and people saying, oh, they want more recognition. We've seen the case of Nnamdi Kanu, which is in court. Do you feel the Southeast is really ready to work hand in hand with this government to get unity when they're rejecting appointments and the likes?
When it comes to the Southeast, I always say this wherever I go to, we don't have a leader. We don't have a particular leader we can actually listen to. Even the Nnamdi Kanu we're talking about here, he's actually being crucified in his hometown. So without unity, you can't achieve anything from the present administration. If you can't come together, the whole governors in the Southeast can't even come together and have a particular meeting and be like, okay, let's stand towards this. The same person in that same meeting will actually go and tell Mr. President, don't mind them. When they come, just nod your head and tell them it's okay. And the acting as the Northerners won't take that. They can actually form. They can actually walk from Nasarawa by foot to Abuja just to address Mr. President. So I feel like unity has to be there first. If our people can be united, sure, we can actually produce the president. When Peter Obi came out, the same people, the whole Southeast were actually fighting him. He got his vote from the north and other parts of Nigeria. So let's be your brother's keeper before you want something from Mr. President. If he sees that your home is divided, he can't actually trust you to actually handle a very good position like that. So I feel like Mr. President is being smart in his decision, and he also has his own supporters, advisors, and the rest. I think they sat down and thought about it before he made that decision.
What could be the cause of this lack of unity in the Southeast that you're talking about?
When you come to the Southeast, everybody is a billionaire. Everybody is rich. So an Igbo man feels like, how much do you have to come and tell him to come and sit down and wait for you for 30 minutes? He wouldn't do that. But a northern man, even if he's the president, he doesn't mind sitting on the floor waiting for his Seriki or Emir to come outside and address him. But an Igbo man will tell you, I'm worth more than him, so why should I sit down and listen to him?
So are you saying pride is the cause?
I would say pride is part of it, and unity. Unity. We don't have a leader that can actually come out today. We don't have that Igbo man that can actually come out today. Even Nnamdi Kanu can't come out today and say, I'm calling all the Southeast leaders to come. I want them in Abuja tomorrow morning. Nobody will answer him. Some will be laughing that, let him go and settle his case first with the federal government. If they have a way, they will jail him again.
I think that's where, because I like the entrepreneurial mindset of the Southeasterners. Yeah. We've seen it with what they've done with apprenticeship. Yeah. We've also seen it with how they've run their businesses, and a lot of it comes from self-awareness, which is why during the colonial era we had direct and indirect rule, depending on the region, and so maybe it's not such a bad thing. However, you spoke about how we keep focusing on the federal. We need to look at our states and the state government and what they're doing. I see a lot of commendations and good things being said about Alex Oti and what he's doing in Abia State, but you still have some other states where you literally don't hear anything about. You see the likes of Chukwuma Soludo,
Soludo,
who is doing the bit he can do.
Yeah.
But why do some people get more credit and more glory than the others? Is it that the others aren't working, or what do you think is
Like
going
what
on
I
there?
keep telling people, yeah, you have a governor, you have a senator, you have a rep member, you have a local government chairman, you have commissioners, you have SAs, you have SPAs, and you have a governor. And the way this government works, actually, the constitution is actually built in a way where it favors a particular set of people. There is always a gap, an escape put in the constitution. So if you check, a governor has immunity. A deputy governor has immunity. A senator doesn't have immunity. So if there's a particular budget being passed to every state, allocation every month, so when it gets to your own state, and you're sharing it to your commissioners, it goes to the local government and the rest, you don't always attack the governor. Go to your local government, invite your local government chairman. What are you doing with our local government money? When you attack them, you go to the commissioners. What are you doing with the money the governor is giving you to do this project? You attack them. Then you're helping the governor work. Because most times the governor can't be everywhere at every time. And when you talk about Alex Oti, if you go to Abia State, you actually know that Abia State was in deep chaos. The roads, if you're traveling from Enugu to Port Harcourt, when you get to that Abia road, you can actually stay there for like 4 hours. So he's actually working on these are federal government projects. He's actually doing it. So, and his media team are actually telling that, okay, other governors couldn't do this. I heard the former governor, what did you bring to Ebonyi? What did you bring to your state? He was talking about ShopRite and Mr. Biggs. So, and this one is bringing light. He has the power plant now. How many megawatts? I can't remember. So Abia State has 24 hours light now in Nigeria for the first time in the country called Nigeria. We have 24 hours light. This needs to be commended. The governor of Ebonyi State is also doing well. So you look at these two governors, they're actually doing well. And they have a very good media team that is actually selling out what they're doing. Because if he's working and doesn't have a good media team, you won't know and I won't know. So he has a very good media team. And I think he has a very good cabal and cabinet he's working with. What I mean by cabinet is working with, maybe the commissioners are doing their job, the people are actually going to their local government chairman. It doesn't have to do with the governor. Tax your local government chairman. Start from there. If your local government chairman knows that he has the responsibility to pay if he doesn't do a particular project, after collecting the money from the federal government or from the state government, he will actually do something better. Because if you tell him, don't come to your house if you don't do this particular project, he knows now you're not only attacking the governor, you're actually attacking him. So he's actually going to do his work. But giving him money and attacking the governor, most Nigerians don't know how this actually works. They feel like whatever money you give to the state has to do with the governor and the governor alone, but it doesn't work that way.
One last question before we let you go, and then and I continue the conversation. What's next for you?
By the grace of God, I think I will be representing my people as the next local government chairman of my local government, and local government in Enugu State, and from there, I should be joining the Green Chambers in the next election, by the grace of God.
Okay.
What are your priorities if you become local government chairman?
I'll focus on youth first, because most of our youth presently don't actually have anything doing. They're uneducated and the rest. That's why it's easy for you to convince them to join the political togeries and the rest of them. So let's educate them first.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
and good luck in all your endeavors. We will hold you accountable. I will follow up with what you're doing.
No problem, please do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. When we return, Didi and I will continue the conversation. We'll take a quick break right now. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.